All right, what's up, guys? Basically, I just want to talk about aesthetic curation, mood boarding, basically building your Instagram gallery for curating content, why it's important, why you need it, why premium luxury brands need it, why streetwear brands that want to sell to a specific audience need it. So, this is a little deeper than just doing your own production and photo shoots for Instagram and stuff like that. This is like building a brand off the back of curation. And that's just a small strategy in the large bucket, but I want to just get right into it. Basically, why you need it is because you want your brand to aspire to something or get people to aspire to your brand. One of the two. Now, creating your own production works for both, but I would say that if you're able to map out a dream for your end consumer, it's better. It's cheaper, it's easier, it's faster, and it helps your own production. So it's killing multiple birds with one stone. Why it's important, again, is that if you can efficiently find other people's content that identifies with your brand and piece that together in an interesting way, people will be liking your brand, your media space for your brand, purely off the strength of the media and images that you're putting out. Not just, oh, I like their product or I saw a celebrity wearing it, which helps. But if they like you for your values, what your aesthetic, how you look, the media you put out, the media you curate for them, they're following you for a variety of reasons. Now, that necessarily isn't 100% translating to buy this product. But you want, with clothing, you want people to buy into your brand. It's not as simple as like, click this ad, buy this product, 50% off. It's way less transactional when you're talking premium products, luxury goods, clothing. These are things people have to buy into your whole aesthetic. You can get away with a really cool, dope hoodie and you could just sell that and that's your brand. You can get away with that on TikTok Shop 100%. You can make money from that. But when we're talking about you want to do that hoodie that's super dope and it's selling out again and again, like you want to have 5 hoodies that are dope and selling out, and you want to do it every season, every collection for the next 5 years, that's branding. You can't get away with one off really dope hoodies, then you have to find some other thing to copy to make a crazy winning product. You want to make crazy winning products, but you just want to build brand because you want your streetwear, luxury, premium brand, whatever the case, to last more than 2 to 3 years. So the revenue is like cash flowing. You don't just have a giant spike on TikTok Shop, then you're pulling from scraps to find the next winning product a year later. You want to have a brand that is the winning product. Your brand is the winning product. So with that being said, how to actually do it. How I've done it and the right way to do it, I mean, it's going to sound very simple, but you actually have to do it. All this stuff is simple. All this stuff we've heard before, but you have to execute. So there's 2 things I really want to say. First, before I even get into how to do it exactly, there's one thing I want everyone to understand. It doesn't matter if you're selling product, you're selling services, whatever. If you have a company and you want to make money from the market, you have to look at an equation like this. Execution, okay, that means doing something. Execution, you actually doing it, plus analysis or strategy, meaning you look at the market, you study it, you see what's working, you adjust. That's analysis and strategy. Plus capital, meaning the money you put behind, the employees you have. If you just have a bunch of inventory but not a lot of money, or you have the attention but not a lot of inventory, that's your capital. Whatever you have sitting, whether liquid or whatever, your asset is your capital. Usually that's money. Those 3 things is how you'll be successful in business. Now, let's translate that to what we're about to talk about. The execution and the strategy is this mood board, right? Curating content is the execution. And then once you start dumping out content that, we'll get into this, but whatever you're curating, when you release it, you're going to see what works and what doesn't within your niche. Then you're going to adjust. That's the strategy, okay? Once you adjust, then you pour gasoline on that fire. Whatever's working, you keep doing, you double down on it, you create more content, find more content like the winning content, right? That's your execution, okay? Now the money you put behind ads, the money you invest in samples or in influencers, that's your capital. Even the intention you have from the mood board. So when you're curating content, whether that's reels or images, the attention you get, that's now your capital. You can deploy products towards them. You could deploy your sales conversion onto them, right? That's the 50% off. That's the buy now. That's the we're low on inventory. This is the best seller. Those are your transactional posts and that you're getting someone to buy, right? So that's why I mapped that out. But that's a whole another video. I just want you to understand that we're not just talking about stuff that's in the air that no one can understand, that's kind of too far out, that's like hard to grasp. Like, this is business and it fits into a equation, right? Okay. So mood boarding and creating an aesthetic. There's so many layers to that, but let's just say you have an idea of who you want your target audience to be. You kind of have an aesthetic, but it's not foolproof, right? Like, you have a vision of, oh, I want to be luxury mixer streetwear. Nowadays, it's broad. Maybe 10 years ago, that was like pretty niche stuff, right? But nowadays, every brand wants to be a bit of streetwear with a bit of premium. That's what quiet luxury is. That's what all the brands we know and love in streetwear are doing currently, right? So how do we properly curate that? There's a couple ways. I'm just going to break it down very simply. So basically, first is going to be Pinterest. That's the hardest one, but it's going to make your vision as clear as possible, right? These are images. Images are already formatted for Pinterest's algorithm and how they run content. So the cropping is going to be a certain way, the lighting is going to be a certain way. It's how Pinterest prioritizes their stuff. But you create your own boards in Pinterest. You start creating boards with different sections, the streetwear part, women's wear, men's wear, lifestyle, just the product photography, whatever. You start creating boards every day at mass for months. Just do it, okay? You're gonna forget, and you come back to it, and you need to keep doing it. Excuse me. So you need to create Pinterest boards at mass for months, and you have to just do it. You have to get in the habit of doing it. At first, it's going to be actually fun, and then it's going to be like, all right, like, I get it. No, you need to keep doing it. 1, it refines your own aesthetic. 2, it keeps your eyes sharp for what looks good. Mostly, almost everything on Pinterest that are doing numbers has an aesthetic quality to it. You just study that. You don't know everything. There's people, there's creators that they aren't creating brands, they aren't making money, they're just creating art. They know what they're doing, okay? It's getting numbers on Pinterest for a reason. Curate that, save it to a board, study it, right? You stack that up, thousands of posts. Then you start breaking it down to your exact niche, who you exactly want to target, what you exactly want your brand to look like. It's out there. In some form or fashion, it might be not exactly, but it's out there somewhere on Pinterest. So find it, curate it, make a board, have that board as your staple. This is how everything should look, or this is how this collection should look. That's the basis of your mood board. Now, if you think about it, Gary Vee has a quote, document, don't create. So what you already did is consumer research or brand research for your brand. You take that and you give it to your people. The people that will be your audience are already your audience. You give them what you're doing. You show them what you're doing. This is exactly what Sporty and Rich did. This is exactly what Virgil Abloh did in the early stages when he was working for Kanye, and he couldn't just drop anything, at his own will. He was showing mood boards, he was showing sketches, he was showing what the studio looked like, even though we can't show the exact product he's creating for maybe Donda or the early Pyrex stuff before he, fully released it. He was showing you behind the scenes. Mood boarding is like behind the scenes. You're showing them the very early stages of your strategy before you've executed. That makes people want to follow along with the story. That's 1. Aspire to your content. So whatever you're showing, they also want to look like that. They want to dress like that. They want to have that feeling when they wear clothes, period. not just your brand, right? It's a lifestyle thing, okay? And then they're identifying with your brand. So if they like the lifestyle content you're showing, the mood boards, the images, the content you're giving them, they identify with it and they stick with you. Not only are they with you because your product, but they're with you because they identify with the lifestyle you're bringing to them, the content that you're showing them. That's important. That has people ride with you to watch the grind. They may not buy a hoodie now, but maybe a year they might see, oh man, I've been seeing this brand. I like everything they release content wise. Their hoodies are so-so. But then they see a hoodie on another person. Then the dots connect that they like your content, they like your lifestyle. Now they've seen someone they like in your hoodie. Full circle. That person is bought in already. Before they've even added anything to cart, once they've seen that trifecta process of it's hit multiple pinpoints of their aspiration, you got them hooked. It's over, right? So you show that. That's the first step of it. Then I would say Tumblr is your backup. Tumblr's dying every day that we say this. Tumblr's getting more and more dead. Less people are posting on it. A lot of it's from, the mid 2000s to, I guess, 2018 is when I would consider it pretty much done, but it had a good last run in 2018. So if you're trying to get any content that is a little bit archival, small, tiny amount of history, a little bit of the old Kanye stuff. When I say old Kanye, like 2013, 2015, that era, same thing with the Off-White, what Off-White was doing 2013, 2015. You're gonna find a lot of that on Tumblr. It's gonna be hard, but if you're not already in it, it's gonna be really tough. You might as well just stick to Pinterest or find another route. Okay, and then there's obviously Instagram. You're gonna see people posting stuff you like on Instagram. Every time you do that, you save it. And if you see posts you don't like, you tap the three buttons or three dots and say you dislike the post or whatever it means to get that post off your feed. When you see something you like, you save it and you like the post. You need your feed to curate for you. This job is curation is a full-time job between Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You could spend your whole career just curating an aesthetic and it might work, right? So if you have a brand, you're dealing with products, design, your employees, if you have it, your customers, logistics, shipping, website, the list goes on and on. You don't want to spend all your day on this, but it's very important because this is doing the heavy lifting of your marketing if you get it right. Okay, so use Instagram, all right? Save all the posts you like all the posts you like. Your feed, your algorithm will help curate, it'll start curating for you after a couple months. You mix that in with the Pinterest. You start taking all the images and organizing it in aesthetic, okay? Once you keep posting and posting and posting, maybe 3 times a day for 3 months, you look at the analytics heavily. After 3 months, with 3 times a day for 3 months, you will have a lot of posts. I'm not sure the math on that, but you'll probably have, a lot, right? You have a very good sample size. You're gonna look at your analytics. You're gonna be very honest with yourself. You can't be emotional about the content you post, right? The only emotion you have the only emotion you have of it is, does it look good? Is it quality? Would my audience like this? You don't know yet. So you're kind of making an emotional inference based on, your prior knowledge about aesthetic and what your brand looks like. Yes, that's emotional. But when you're posting, if you already decided that it's good content, right? When you're gonna post it, now you have to take the emotion out of it. Once the thing has uploaded completely, it's reached 100% upload, no more emotion. If it doesn't perform, it doesn't perform. Look, I've been through it. I've seen it time and time again. I post something, I love it. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want that post to represent my brand. I need it to, almost, because it's the perfect thing to me. But my audience just isn't receptive. Sometimes I'll try again and it's not receptive again. Bro, enough. Cut it. It's over. It didn't win. Something else that you thought was not that good or kind of mid, but you did like it, so you posted it and it went crazy. It went crazy for a reason, man. Like, you Sometimes, yes, the algorithm, you don't know 100%. You think you know better than the algorithm, whatever. Leave your ego, leave your emotion out of it. I know it's your brand, but right now we're talking about the part of your company that's the media company. It's not your exact 100% brand anymore. We're in a new age where the consumer has almost like 25% say in what you produce. It's the truth. Now you have creative control over your clothing and your website, whatever. But as far as you being the media company that's generating the attention so you can sell that clothes, you have less say, you have less creative control because the algorithm and the audience is the bigger factor now. You have to just let go at that point. Okay, so you've been posting for 3 months, you look at the analytics, you're not emotional about it, you have an aesthetic feed, you're taking out posts that don't perform well, you're keeping up posts that are, disproportionately performing, and then you're doubling down on posts that are doing good. Okay, that's pictures. Now it's time to do the same exact thing with reels. Now this is where it gets scary. This is where you get dangerous. Before, you're not gonna have crazy amount of results from the picture. The picture is more so aesthetic and your brand forward focus, right? It's getting that aesthetic, that aspirational thing, so you can have kind of that everything I talked about, right? That's here. Now you have the reels. The reels are purely a growth engine. This is where you actually have to put on your marketing hat and take off your branding hat, okay? You have to write down the core focus of your brand. If it's luxury, sportswear, and skateboarding, or luxury, sportswear, lifestyle, okay? Those are the three things you're gonna look for: reels, YouTube videos, whatever video you can find, crop it, repurpose it, do a green screen where your face is talking over the background of the video, whatever you got to do, overlay text, chop it up, remix the video, put music, whatever you do to recreate. You find videos in that sector that your business is in. It's a little broad. You have to stay broad. But this is where the analytics come in. You find, at first, I would start with, I would tell someone 3 videos a day, 3 months. That's my sweet spot. But when you're starting out with this, you're gonna fail a lot. A lot of things will not work. You're gonna post a bunch of reels that get very close to 0 views, which is insane. If you have 1,000 followers, 2,000, 3,000 followers, and your reels are getting 20 views, you're gonna be like, what am I doing, right? Like, what's happening? I just followed this guy's advice, I'm getting 0 views. Yes, for a couple months, it's gonna look like that. You just have to keep going and persevere. I still have accounts right now. All the accounts I've built, I have accounts that get 5 million monthly views, and I have multiple accounts that have gotten 5 million monthly views. And I have accounts right now as I'm speaking that are getting 1,000 monthly views, that I'm posting reels and they're literally getting 0 views. Maybe it's shadow banned. Maybe the content's not good. Maybe for some reason the account's not optimized. I don't know. But it just happens. I don't know why. You just have to reach that breakthrough point till you have one semi-viral, not even the word viral, just a winning piece of content. Once you get that, so that may take 10 posts a day, that may take 3 posts a day for 2 weeks or a month or 2 months. I can't tell you, but it will suck. I don't know how to explain it. All the work you're gonna do to repurpose content, and it's not gonna perform, it will suck. I know, bro. Like, trust me, I get it. But you have to keep going. Throughout this video, you're gonna hear me talk about perseverance over and over again. You just have to keep going. You have no choice, right? So, you're doing 3 reels a day every day for 3 months. Let's call it that. In the 3rd month, 4th month, you get a winning piece of content. And it's different for everybody. I would low-key say that a lot of the time, it's probably gonna be 100,000 view video with about 1,000 likes. It's gonna kick off like that. You're gonna double down on that, or you're gonna pick the top 5 performing. So anything that got, at first, anything that gets maybe over 5,000 views, up to 100 likes, that's a decently performing thing for a new account. Okay, you're gonna double down on that. Then the thing that got 100,000 views, you're gonna look at it very unemotionally, super analytically. You're gonna look at the first 3 seconds. Why did people continue to watch? Why did people like it? What drove them to comment? What was your caption? Dissect it down surgically, seriously. That one 30-second video that got 500,000 views or whatever, the winning one, there will be one. In 3-4 months, there will be one or more, but usually there's one. You need to study that piece of content. You need to watch it every day if you have to. Wake up, watch it, look at it again, scratch your head, close it, come back to it, write down, transcribe it by hand. I don't care. Figure out what made that piece winning, because that's your key to success in the next 3 months after that, because you can die right after that. I'm saying your account can go silent dead right after you go viral, even if you're posting 3 times a day still. For some reason, it's like that. So you need to double down on whatever's winning. Pour gasoline on that fire, okay? So you have a winning piece of content at this point. Your gallery is aesthetic. People like your lifestyle portrayal, your aspirational. People like your content as far as aesthetic, and the media, which I would call that more so your reels. Your reels aren't gonna be super aesthetic forward. You can make it, that's a separate video. But reels, growth, gallery, aesthetic, okay? You have both. Now you're gonna use all of this to then create content, okay? This was all like a big case study. It's a big focus group. Your account that you've created with the aesthetic, image static posts and the reels that are gaining a bunch of traction, that's growing your page. You've essentially created a case study for yourself and for your brand. You now look at that and say, what can my actual brand, I'm talking not my media company brand, I'm talking my clothing line with the logo on my chest, what can that brand take from the winning content and the aesthetic content that's on this page? Okay? You have the answers to that. It's all different. If people are going towards quiet luxury again, and that's what's winning on your page, and then your reels is this like European luxury travel niche, and that's winning, okay, you look at that and say, okay, how do I inject my brand into content like this? Now you have to get creative and you go create that. That's for a separate video. That's content creation. Right now we're talking curation. Essentially, I just gave you the roadmap. You start with static images. It's not going to pop off as far as getting a bunch of attention, but it will feed the people you want to feed as far as a very targeted niche attention, right? You get that aesthetic handled. You use Pinterest, you use Tumblr, you use your own feed. You rely a little bit on the algorithm to start feeding you content that you already know is going to win, okay? You post that. You look at your analytics. You see what's working, reverse engineer it, and keep going. Then you get to video. Use YouTube, use TikTok. There might be some video on Pinterest, whatever resources you have. Take Instagram Reels. The idea for that is to somewhat repurpose it. Change the song, change the copy, overlay text, do a green screen where your face is over the background that is that content. You repost it, you see what's winning, reverse engineer, double down, and you keep going. 3 pieces of content in both categories a day, okay? You need to do that first so you know what works. That's the only way you can make the case study foolproof, okay? You need this to be like your focus group to build your brand on top of. Nowadays, you can't just launch a brand without attention, without a case study, without a focus group, and just think the world's gonna accept it. It's too hard. You have too much competition, too many barriers. You need something to launch off of. Not only from a strategy perspective, but you need the attention to launch off of. These are killing 2 birds with 1 stone in your marketing capabilities. This is building your brand, it's building your aesthetic, it's building the attention for you, it's helping you understand what your brand wants and needs, it's giving you inspiration. I mean, the list goes on, okay? Curate responsibly, think about what you post, don't be emotional after you've posted it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, okay? I'm gonna be talking about this more in other videos. Thanks guys for watching if you watched this far. I know I did in one take. I'm not sure all the mistakes, but I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any questions in the comments, just leave it. Email me, DM me, LinkedIn, Instagram. It should be in the bio. Just DM me. I'll give all the tips. I'll give all the proof of what I've built, and the things that aren't working are working. The list goes on. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks.